Hello, namaste everyone. I'm Govinda Puri. I would like to welcome you all in this short video. So I'm going to make this video for my B.ED first year students who have just started the new course and also who are struggling with the course or who are preparing for the examination. I hope this video will help you to prepare for your exam and to understand the lesson. And today I'm going to talk about the first lesson, that is the start of Kaliyug. The start of Kaliyug, when we say start of Kaliyug, then we need to talk about the 4 yugs. According to Hindu philosophy, the world is made up of 4 yugas or yugs. They are Satya Yug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kali Yug. Let's talk about these yugs one by one first. That will give you the background information about the text. That also helps to understand the start of Kali Yuga well. Satya Yuga, which lasted 1,728,000 years, and where Dharma reigned supreme. Dharma was everything during Satya Yuga, and then people were honest and virtuous. And then the stature was 21 cubit, 31.5 feet. So lifespan was said to have 100,000 years in Satya Yuga. The next one, Treta Yuga, that lasted 1,296,000 years, and that declined the virtue to quarter of the Satya Yuga. That means 1/4 of virtue was declined. And during Treta Yuga, the war began, and then stature of human 14 cubits, 21 feet, and the lifespan was supposed to have 10,000 years. The next one is Dwapar Yuga, that lasted 864,000 years, and their virtue and sin were equal halves. That means, half was virtue and then half was sin. It is said that. And then people became tamasic. There are 3 gunas: sattvic, rajasi, and tamasi. And the stature of human 7 cubits, 10.5 feet, and lifespan was said to have 1,000 years. The last yuga is Kali Yuga, that lasts 432,000 years. That means 5,000 years have already passed. It is said that. And 1/4 of virtue that rest, and rest of the others is sin. It is said that. So Kali Yuga is said to be the terrible dark age, and human stature is reduced to 3.5 cubit and 5.5 feet. So lifespan is said to be 20 years, and food be meat. I mean, people started having the tamasi food, like meat, alcohol. So start of Kali Yuga, let's talk about this one. The legend of the Mahabharata that was published in the book, an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata, and that narrates how dharma is decreasing. In Kali Yuga, dharma is decreasing. And then it was written by Devdutt Patanik, and that tells making Satya or Kali Yuga is in the hand of human. So we human beings are responsible whether to make this era Satya or Kali. Depends upon that. So Devdutt Patanik was born on 11th December 1970, an Indian writer. Writes about this one. The major points of this text, Kali Yuga, start of Kali Yuga, has just related the Mahabharata war, Kurukshetra war, and crown of Hastinapur, And then it talks about Yudhishthir's grandest Ashwamedha Yajna for well-being for his subjects. And then two farmers. The whole story has the three stories that you have to understand, and which are the indication of the start of Kaliyug. The first story of two farmers and their dispute on gold pot. It's a very interesting story. And then in the story, what happens? One farmer sells the land to another one, but the very next day, the buyer finds a pot of gold while plowing the field, and then he thinks that that pot was not uh, his. So he goes to the seller and asks him, "I just bought the land. I did not uh, buy the pot of gold. That's why this pot of gold belongs to you. Please, you take this one. This is not mine," he says. And then the seller says that, "Oh, no, no, no. I sold all the land and you deserve both land and the pot. This is not mine." In this case, they quarrel, they fight, and they go to the Yudhishthir's Ashwamedha Yajna, and then asks Yudhishthir to settle down the issue. But Yudhishthir also gets confused and asks Krishna's advice, and Krishna says about the Kali Yuga there. So the Krishna advises Yudhishthira to call two farmers after 3 months after the end of the Ashwamedha Yajna, and then two farmers agree to leave their pot of gold with Yudhishthir's and come back after 3 months. And later on, when farmers go back, then Yudhishthira asks Krishna, "Why did you say it like that?" Then Krishna explains, uh, "Still there is not the Kali Yuga. So after 3 months, your yajna will be over, and then the farmers will have greed, desire, and then they will come back, claiming the same gold pot that belongs to each one of them." That's why Krishna advised Yudhishthira to send the farmers back. And that is the ruin of civilization and the rise of barbarism. So another story is the story of Mongoose that is there in the start of Kali Yuga. Mongoose story. The Mongoose comes to the Ashwamedha Yajna. After the Yajna, one mongoose whose body was already covered by the gold comes to the uncharred coal at Ashwamedha Yajna, and then just lies down. But mongoose body, the next part of the body, does not get colored by the gold, and then that also shows the start of Kali Yuga. Mongoose and Yudhishthir's practice of royal power. So another story that is intertwined is that the story of five Pandavas. Five Pandavas where only dharma rests on the Yudhishthir's. So the major points let me talk about. Two farmers and their dispute on gold pot, Krishna's advice to the Yudhishthir, Krishna's saying about Kali Yuga, ruin of civilization and the rise of barbarism, and Mongoose and Yudhishthir's practice of willpower. The moral, what is the moral of the story of two farmers that you need to understand over here? Two farmers who come to Ashwamedha Yajna with the gold pot. And in the ceremony, two farmers came with the dispute. The dispute was about the pot of gold. Both the farmers refused to take the pot because one sold the land to other, as I told you before. While plowing the field or the land, another found a pot of gold. Then he said that he had only bought the land, not the pot of gold. And another said that he had sold all whatever is there in the land. So they were charitable. That means both farmers were not willing to take that pot of gold before the start of Kaliyug. After Kaliyug, both farmers came to the streets claiming the same pot again. So the moral of the story of the two farmers is that before the Kaliyug, people were honest, charitable, and generous. They were very kind. They did not have greed uh, and then outrage, but they were full of compassion. But with the onset of Kali Yuga, with the beginning of the Kali Yuga, people started to be conceit, gluttony, and arrogance. So that is proved by the mongoose story also. The mongoose, what mongoose story says, uh, mongoose story, as I told you before, the mongoose whose body was covered by the gold at the first grandest yajna, when there was not Kali that's mongoose body was covered by gold. But at the end of the Yudhishthir's next grandest yajna, the body could not be changed. That also suggests that Kali Yuga already started. So in this next, as I said to you, next story is Pandav's story. Krishna and Draupadi's harness of Pandav's power, uh, because five Pandavas they declined from the dharma, and dharma only rested on Yudhishthir's abandon of dharma that leads to pralay. When you abandon, when you leave the dharma, then there of course occurs pralay. Krishna and Draupadi's harness of Pandav's power, as I said to you, an abandon of dharma leads to pralay. The central idea of the story of the text is that this legend is based on Mahabharata, one of the greatest Indian epic among other two. There is the existence of sins, injustice, war, conflict, discrimination, selfishness, dominance, inhumanity, and exploitation among human beings. Now, the Kali Yuga, in Kali Yuga, people are greedy. People have, various sins, injustice, war, conflict. They have discrimination and then exploitations. So it makes this human era as Kali Yuga. This is the indication of Kali Yuga. So retelling Satya and Dharma lead humanity. Retaining that is to go to golden era. So human is responsible to make this earth of golden era and pralay. So the conclusion, Kali Yuga is justified now because human society is running with injustice, greedy, selfishness, sins, evils, exploitation, and inequality or unequal power among human beings. You can see now people, they are not charitable, they are not generous, they are not kind, they are selfish. They forget everything for others. No benevolence, no help, no kindness in the society we can see. So these all indicate that we are already in Kali Yuga. These are the signs of Kali Yuga. So the start of Kali Yuga, it's shown by three stories, as I said to you. First story is the story of two farmers who were first charitable, generous, who were willing to return the pot of gold to each other. They were not willing to take that pot of gold. But after 3 months, after the end of Ashwamedha Yagya, they were again claiming the pot of gold. That means people had kind of greed later. The next story that is presented, the story of mongoose, and the last story, stories of Pandavas, five Pandavas. Okay, some of them, became gluttony, and then another one became, arrogant, and the dharma rested only Yudhishthira. So this is these three stories within the text indicate that the start of Kali Yuga. there are some questions. I hope you can prepare for your exam. The first question: what is the moral of the story of two farmers, which was asked in 2077 in the exam. Next question can be possible question can be: what does the mongoose story suggest? That charity is the greatest ritual, and Yudhishthir performed that again just for showing up, because you know Yudhishthir wanted to show its power, royal power, its property. So its yajna was not performed by heart. It was not performed honestly, and that shows the start of Kaliyug. And then next question can be: according to Krishna, what would happen in Kaliyug? Kaliyug. When Kaliyug is down, then people will have greed. They involve in sins. They become gluttony, loss of compassion, no love each other, no humanity. Humanity will be lost. People will run after the material things, how to earn money, or how to construct a big building, how to own the car, or how to live very sophisticated, relaxed life. So they run after that, and then uh, this will happen in the Kali Yuga. They will not. People will not be willing to support, help each other. So these are the indication of Kali Yuga. What are the symbols, the signs of Kali Yuga? As I said to you, you can talk about this, the symbols like a gluttony, selfishness, arrogance, sins. These are the symbols of Kali, signs of Kali Yuga. And why does the author say that Draupadi and Krishna managed to harness the Pandavas together? Yeah, Draupadi was the common wife of five Pandavas, and she could manage all five Pandavas who were declining from the Dharma, and Krishna was their guardian, like giving suggestion in every situations. So both of them, Draupadi and Krishna, managed to harness the Pandavas together. You can justify: are we living in Kali Yuga? Yeah, of course, we are living in Kali Yuga. So I hope you understand this short story, the first text of the book, and you can read the original text and get more ideas and prepare for the exam. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a nice time. Thank you very much, everyone. See you.